I'm on the DRL chat, so let me go onto my own bloody chat and then I'll be able to see it. Good evening to Stacey in the chat. I've still got to fix the settings to work out that the chat is hidden away behind my face. So that's a slight issue. Luckily the track fits perfectly around it, so that's good. 19 and now Joker joining to make it 20, so that's perfect. As always on qualifying, we will see who is going to go out first and we'll go with them. Nobody fancies it just yet. I wanted to get out there early today, but we will see how it goes. In fact, here comes some people into the pit lane and the car is going out, and it's an Alfa Romeo, known as Steak next season. That'll make you hungry. And it is Senna who is going to be the first one out. I will probably not be referring to the new car as Steak. I will probably call it Sauber, because if I carry on talking about Steak, I'll get too hungry. So Senna is out there, and so is Syme, and so is Easy Life. So we've got both Williams out on track, as well as Senna. Brad now as well in his Haas. The news this week then, Gunther Steiner, no more. And also, Drive to Survive is no more. Drive to Survive will not be renewed by Netflix. I know it's helped get a lot of new fans into the sport. And I must have watched the episode around the famous last race in Abu Dhabi. No, Mikey, no! So many times. But yep, no more of that. And no more Alfa Romeo on the grid. They will be known as Steak Sauber next year. Well, this year. Just a month and a half away from the new F1 season. And about 6 months away from the new game. So, plenty of life left in F1 23, the game. And here goes Senna on the first of the hot laps. I had accidentally switched to smudged it up. Noticing. Of course, Monaco, you either love it or you hate it. I love it as a spectacle. I'd love to go there, but I absolutely hate to drive on it, and I always end up in the wall. Couple getting out of the way nicely there in the tunnel. Joker's out already. Now, is that because he's got a quali ban? It could be, because I don't think he's left the pit. Senna throwing it through the chicanes into the last corner. And he is going to set the pace at 1:13.0. Let's see how Syme is going to react to that. Caught in a bit of traffic here. Can Syme get to the line any quicker? He can. A 1:10.6 for Syme. And that's a huge difference. Big, big difference. Syme going early and taking a 1:10.6. Brad is back in the pits. They must have made a mess somewhere. Smug goes a 1:12.2. Sainsy, he's going to be a 1:13.6. Levi a 1:12.7. Here's Sloth coming around the last corner. And that's a 1:12.3 for Sloth, P4 at the moment. Here's Max World. Driver of the day on Thursday night. one of our newcomers here in DRS. He's driving as a reserve this evening. Finished second in that race on Thursday at Baku, where not many managed to finish. Here he goes. I'll go through the others who have gone over the line shortly, but that is P2 and a 1:11.6 for Real Max World. Syme, of course, a bit of a Monaco specialist, and so he showed with that lap. Mr. Pickle is now in P3 with a 1:11.8, and Colin is on a 1:11.9, ahead of Smug, Sloth, Senna and Levi. Sainsy just goes ahead there of Ninjas. There's a 1:13.4, 50 a 1:14.1, and Skippy a 1:14.1 also. Brad's back on an outlap. Sloth up to second now, a 1:15.5 for him. Syme a 10th down on his time, so
estimated collision in T-10. 9. 8.
Can you confirm satellite collision is imminent?
7. 6. 5.
Carrying out collision avoidance maneuver.
4. 3. 2. 1. Satellite collision averted.
It takes the whole force to protect space. Join us.
the new season starts here. Still some seats available for it as well. So if you fancy a go with the DRS boys, do give us a message. We'll get you in touch. Brad there, so close. 1:10.696 as compared to 0.669. Here is Sainsy starting a lap and Smug. So yes, if you fancy a go with the DRS boys Thursdays, you can still get a seat. Looking forward to doing Thursday nights once again, as well as Mondays. And of course, Blobby Mondays return this week. Smug has abandoned this attempt. Colin is in P7. Miller Vanilla there has gone to P3 with a 1:11.5. The Red Bull, after his promotion from the Pro-Am to the Pro. And we'll see if he's going to chain another lap on or if he's just heading into the pits. He's a couple of seconds over, so he will be heading towards the pits. We will go back to Colin. He is up slightly. And now he isn't. And he's abandoned that attempt, I think. There's Senna. Roddy the Kid's on the board with a 1:13.8. Al Newt, a 1:17. They're on board with Senna, who has won the first two races in the Pro-Ams. And my fellow commentator King Kong, who is on track today in the Red Bull, does absolutely rate Senna as a future DRS champion. Here he comes now to the line, 111.8, puts him up to P6. He is right in amongst it as he has been so far this season. Swanton, the last one to set a time today in the Alpha Tauri. Let's see how he goes. I'm leaning forward again. Apologies. So the Blobby Mondays this evening, 10 p.m. start. We are off to Las Vegas. 5 races left in the championship. Swanton goes P9, 112.1, but often that's his warm-up. Al Newt's out. Al Newt is out, and that is a crash. Al Newt has crashed out. Swanton often banks a lap and then goes for a quicker one. Let's see if he does that this time. He's going to want the Haas in front of him to step aside. Syme has beaten his own time, 110.4 now. For the Monaco specialist in the Williams. Oh, Swanson impeded there by the Haas. And that's an abandonment of that one. Here's King Kong. He's been covering for me on comms for a couple of weeks. And he is back into the pit. Skippy going for another go in Sector 1. I think it may have been his car that got in Swanton's way a second ago. Yes, Blobby Mondays. We go to Vegas this evening. 5 races remain. Baker leads by 40 points from Noodles. Noodles and myself are 7 points ahead of Baker and Mick in the Alpines. Can the Red Bull win the Constructors? Can Noodles manage to pull it out of the fire and make a title race of it? Baker's P2 last week in Brazil in my absence, with Noodles finishing back in 8th, has put the Alpine right back into the Constructors' Championship and has put one Baker hand on the trophy. Join us from 10 p.m. to see more of that. Also, if you'd like to race in Blobby Mondays, we will be starting the new season in just 6 weeks' time. And there will be seats available. So, Skippy there went up to P15 with a 113.3. We're going to go and see Brad once again. 2 seconds up. He's invalidated. That'll be why. I missed that there. I looked at it and I thought, hang on. How can he be 2 seconds up on that time? It's almost impossible. Here is Max World. Another lively newcomer reserving at the moment. Just 3.5 minutes now or so left. So final runs will be being prepared for. Maxwell 6/10 up. Bit of a wobble through there though. Can he keep it going? Into sector 3. Round the last corner. This could put him top 3. Real Max World. He does go to P3. 110.9 for Real Max World. Just the 3rd driver to break the 111 mark. And look at that. He's a whole half a second ahead of Miller Vanilla and Colin and Sloth, all in the 111.5s. And Miller going not as quickly this time. Senna not beating his time. Smug in the tunnel, he's not anywhere near. Here's Levi, let's see how he's doing. The Ferrari in P11 at the moment. Syme is on his outlap for his final run. Levi's clipped the wall, and that'll be the end of that one. Even though he was right on the times. And invalidates. Sainsy down on his. King Kong slightly up. Needs to find a couple of seconds for the front end. But let's see what happens here. No comments in the chat today. Apart from Stacey saying hello. It's very quiet. Real Max World is out. I believe he's in the pits. So he's just getting out of the session as he's finished. And King Kong is not going to improve. No improvement for King Kong. Let's go and see Syme. Swanton's up to P3 on a 110.6. This is Syme. He's up on his time once again. He's just so good around here. Are we watching yet another pole time for Syme? Let's find out. 110.0. 110.0 for Syme. Beat that, Brad and Swanton. I don't think you will. Here's Brad. Just 10 seconds or so left in the session. The checkered flag will fly very shortly. Swanton is done. Here comes Brad then. Round the last corner. Is he going to make it? 110.110. So close for Brad, but it's still P2 for him. Miller well down. Colin, possibilities maybe. 3/10 for Colin. This could get him up to P5. The Alpine going for it. Right at the death. I think he's going to be the last one meaningfully over the line. And it's a 110.9 for Colin, and it's P4. Second row for Colin right at the death. But Syme, just from Brad, is your front row for the Monaco Grand Prix. Hello to Jonathan in the chat. Looking forward to our trip to Las Vegas later on. Here we are then, Syme from Brad. Swanton and Colin, then Max World, Sloth, Miller Vanilla and Smug, Mr. Pickle and Senna, then Levi, Sainsy, Ninjas, King Kong, Skippy, Roddy the Kid, Al Newt, 50 Gent, Easy Life and Joker. That is your qualifying done with. There will be a pause as usual. Before the race, you'll see the pit wall for a little while, and you'll have the advantage of seeing what the weather's like. The drivers will get their strategies and fuel loads sorted out, and I will tell you about some of the standings. In Monaco! Wow. We had wet Baku on Thursday and it was carnage. This is wet Monaco here in DRS Mondays. Let's give you some standings while we wait. Let's have a little look here. Championship Mondays. So Syme leads the drivers' standings after Azerbaijan from Brad and then Swanton. Bunny's Vengeance no longer involved, and then Senna is in 5th. In the Pro-Am, Senna has got both wins so far. He's doubled the total almost of Sainsy. Ninjas and Easy Life just behind from 50 Gent and Skippy. Few reserves in there as well. In the pros, it is pretty much the same as in the main championship. Syme leading Brad, and Williams and Haas are the ones to beat, but only just. Listen to this: Williams 58 points. Haas, 55 points. 56 points, Haas. McLaren, 55 points. Alfa Romeo, 53 points. So it's all to play for in the Constructors. We were talking about Drive to Survive earlier on being not renewed by Netflix. This may well be Drive to Survive. Just getting some sick notes in for Blobby Mondays. Without the Hasses and a McLaren, amongst others. So a few less to contend with tonight on the grid in Las Vegas. But 20 on the grid here in Monaco. How many will finish? Get your predictions in the chat. Get your predictions in the chat. Who's going to win? Who's going to finish? How many are going to finish, should I say? Here we go on the formation lap then. And everybody is on inters. So no need to take you through any tyre choices. Yeah, all there. It is Syme in the Williams from Brad Mason's Haas. Then Swanton in the Alpha Tauri. That will look familiar. And Skippy's been disqualified from the session. So he's reset to the grid. It's Swanton in the Alpha Tauri, which Colin will recognise as he looks at it, as he was in the Alpha Tauri last season. He's 4th in the Alpine. Then it's Real Max World in 5th for McLaren, reserving today. Sloth is 6th. Graphic designer extraordinaire. Miller Vanilla, the Pro-Am champ, up with the big boys now. In the Red Bull is in 7th ahead of the man that makes it all possible, Smug Git, the league organiser. Mr. Pickle is in 9th place for Ferrari. Then it's Senna, the Pro-Am leader, winner of both Pro-Am races so far. He's P10 from Levi in P11. The second Ferrari. Sainsy is in P12 for Aston Martin. 13 is Ninjas for McLaren. 14 is King Kong for Red Bull. 15, Skippy, who has been disqualified and is already back on the grid. 16 is Roddy the Kid for Alpine. 17, Al Newt for Alpha Tauri. 18, Smug's been disqualified for parking. 18 is 50 Gent for Mercedes. 19, Easy Life for Williams. And Joker, the other Mercedes, doing a last to first challenge, rounds off the grid. Cars are back on the grid. I'm hoping it's going to give me a better camera view than this one because it's awful. And if not, I'm going to go with Brad into turn 1. See the lights. Okay, long pause. Everybody here? Everybody is here. Everybody's here, but the lights don't appear to be coming on. We might have had a lights failure here. Formation lap glitch, possibly. Migrating host. Smug has left. And now the session is going to be restarted, I think. I think this isn't going to count. Everybody's ghosting, or I don't know what's going on here. A Swanson went piling through the corner. Yeah, I think this is going to be a red flag. I will try and check with the Discord here, but I think this is going to be a red flag. Yeah, everybody is going to retire here. So I'm also going to come out of the session and it will be a restart. Standard EA formation lap rubbish, and that's why we on Blobby Mondays don't bother with the formation lap. Just ask for an invite back in. So apologies for that, folks. Just checking the times. It is a 39 lap race. And of course, I've got an hour and a quarter until I've got to open the Blobby Monday lobby. So I want to get a move on with this. Our DRS colleagues. Not going to be much of a pause in between now. we are going to hopefully be back on without too much further problem. Certainly thought people were retiring from the race, so I assume we were red flagging. Swanson dive bombed straight across the first corner, which he wouldn't usually be doing, so I guess we'll wait and see. Here we go. So here we go, we're back in the session, which will now be set back up for the correct settings. It's not a 5-lapper at Bahrain, it is a 50% Monaco. Drivers will be back in their cars very shortly. And then we can get underway. Meanwhile, I'm going to check my useless dog bet from earlier on. The first two were absolutely useless. So let's have a look at the others. Harlow 824. Useless. And 833, that will probably not have come through yet. But again, useless, so not a good day there. Anyway, sorry for the delay, folks. We will be underway shortly. This game never fails to throw a spanner in the works. We won't be returning to putting the formation lap on in Blobby Mondays. We're going to stick to leaving that well alone. So just getting it sorted now. Now for some reason I can't speak in my own chat. This is very strange. Twitch is misbehaving as well. Am I still live? It appears so. Yep, that just doesn't want to work either. Lovely. Brilliant. Oh well. Readying up now, so not too much longer to wait.
It's a peaceful place in the sky.
Are you going to heaven?
No. You gotta be a good person to go to heaven.
The artificial intelligence created to protect us detonated a nuclear warhead. This is a fight for our very existence. We will never stop hunting them.
We're the same. We can't go to heaven because you're not good. And I'm not a person.
Did you locate the weapon?
Yeah, it's a kid.
We are this close to winning the war. Execute her, or we go extinct.
The Creator, streaming Wednesday on Disney+.
Welcome back in on DRS. Just had some adverts there. If the adverts really annoy you, come across to Blobby_Butler and subscribe. You can do this for free if you are on Prime. And then you won't get any adverts. Free sub every month if you are a Prime member. Just link your Prime account to your Twitch. And also you can do a paid subscription instead if you would like to. Coming up, we will shortly be not just doing Formula One commentary and struggling in our own league, but we've decided that we'll be bringing you more content on Blobby Butler in the form of a bit of Fortnite. So, some Fortnite coming up. Usually playing duos with Stacey and Megs. Here we go then on another formation lap. It is another formation lap. It is still everyone on intermediate tyres, and let's just hope the game works this time. Otherwise, it might be a bit of a problem getting done in time. Oh, well, we've lost a couple already. Ninjas and King Kong are out. Disqualified from the session and reset to the grid. So they must have had some kind of coming together. Hopefully not an indication of what's to come. Monaco, certainly one of those tracks I would love to visit. I did go and have a little wander around Monza in June, and I was there when I was in Milan. Short train or bus ride away from Milan, the Monza circuit, and the town indeed of Monza. Very surreal feeling, going somewhere you've never been before, but that all feels so familiar. That was my take on going to Monza, and I'm sure it will be when I go to other ones in the future. Here we go then, Brad disqualified for parking. Still got a few coming around the last corner. And Senna's disqualified for parking. Going to give me this awful view again, isn't it? Let's hope we get lights this time. We are getting lights. We're going to go with Brad. 5 lights. Away we go. Brad spinning them up off the line, but Syme gets across. Syme leads then from Brad Mason. Swanton, there's King Kong and Al Newt scrapping at the back in the midfield, but everybody seems to have got through turn one. There's a McLaren looking for an overtake there. That's Max World. Miller Vanilla passing Smug, bundling his way through and then connecting with the back of Sloth. So Smug got that one back. They're almost stopped at the back. Joker's made a couple of passes. Joker indeed is up to 18th, but now has got to give one of them back. In fact, both. Joker's had to give both places back there. So an illegal overtake perhaps for Joker. Syme leads from Brad. Swanton. Collins already dropped back 2 seconds, but Max World is after him. Got a message there. That's nothing to be worried about. Max World all over the back of Colin as Syme sets the fastest lap. 1 stop inters, 2 stop double inters is the Amazon prediction, but will it dry out? Will it get worse? Who knows? Pit stops and weather will play a huge part in this race, and Joker is into the pit lane already. Joker pits on lap 1. Senna trying to get close to Mr. Pickle. He's in a Ferrari sandwich at the moment, is Senna. And who doesn't like a sandwich with pickle? Senna almost pushing Mr. Pickle through the corner there. No changes in the order so far at the front. Max World trying to get to Colin. At the moment, I'm impressed. Everybody's managing to stay on the track and out of the walls. Brad picks up the fastest lap this time. And you can tell the difference with the rain. It's a full 12 seconds slower than the qualifying times. Trying to look around the outside is Max World. Still nothing doing for him. He's the closest on track to an opponent at the moment other than Al Newt, who has made a pass. Al Newt passes King Kong. And there is a very rare thing to see at Monaco, an overtake. Real Maxwell getting a bit frustrated here behind Colin. You can be a lot quicker than an opponent here, but if you're behind them, you're stuck a lot of the time. Again, very close behind, but not able to get past. Of course, no DRS in this weather, which makes it even more difficult. Brad now has caught right up to the back of Syme for the lead, and Levi is in the pits. Levi dropping down the order as he pits. Look at the front three now. It's Syme, Brad and Swanson. You can throw a bed sheet over them as they go through the hairpin. Levi will drop all the way to 19th after his pit stop. Maxwell getting closer and closer. Still can't get by. Keep an eye on the leaders as well. As you see, Max following Colin through in the background. Very close again. Al Newton, King Kong getting close to Ninjas now further back. Brad trying to get somewhere with Syme. Front three all very close together indeed here. And Swanson trying to go up the inside. He thought better of it. He thought better of it and ducked out, but now he could have a run. And not quite again. Max Wild also not quite. Fascinating close racing. Difficult to overtake. Into the pits is 50 Gent. And that means the Mercedes team are at the back. A bit wide there was Smug, but he's not in any danger there. This is where we want to see last to first challenges. This is where we want to see Kusky and Bunny on a Thursday doing last to first challenges is Monaco, especially in the rain. Just the overtaking increasingly difficult. I do remember MK5 on bags a little while ago. Making many overtakes here. Nice little drift out of turn one there for Real Max World as he continues to follow Colin. Senna has passed Mr. Pickle. And into the pits comes King Kong. So Senna has made it past Mr. Pickle and up into P9. King Kong, the latest one to pit. And he will drop back as far as almost the Mercedes. Down to 18th anyway. Well, out of contention at the moment. In fact, he's coming out in between the Mercedes. Joker's picked up a couple of places from people pitting. Syme leads from Brad and Swanson, lap 6 of 39, and we've still got all 20 running. Oh, and Mr. Pickle, we have it now. Mr. Pickle and Senna's out of the race. Senna is out of the race, and the Pro-Am division is thrown wide open. There's a collision with Mr. Pickle, and now into the pits comes Syme and Brad. Syme and Brad are into the pits. It's only a virtual safety car. Mr. Pickle is also in, serving a penalty and getting a new front wing after he ended Senna's race there. I didn't see it, so I'll leave that to the stewards. Also in the pits is Skippy and Sainsey. Bit of an unsafe release going on there in front of a Haas. That's Skippy. So that has shaken it all up a bit. It's still only a virtual safety car, according to my screen. But then we see the safety car. So there's a glitch for you. Virtual safety car on my screen, the safety car on the track. What can we say, Codemasters and EA? What can we say? Joker's in the pits once again. Mr. Pickle picked up 2 penalties in that incident with Senna. I think he served one of them and was left with a corner cut one. Got no comments missing to read. So Swanton then is your leader behind the safety car with Colin in second. I missed that comment because I was talking at the same time. How typical. I'll go back to it. Good evening, Cam, in the chat. Looking forward to our little trip to Vegas later on. Brad is in the pits again. A second pit stop for Brad. And is he going for drive? No. He's having another front wing. So a front wing mishap for Brad. And that's going to drop him right down. He is going to come back out in about 15th, 16th place behind his Haas teammate Skippy. So we wait for the rest of the field to get back round. The Mercedes are a bit detached, as is King Kong. The Haas is just catching up now. Hopefully, with the amount of slow corners behind the safety car, we'll get the race back underway at the end of this lap if the Mercedes can get a move on slightly. That line for Sector 3 is coming up rapidly, and in fact I don't think we're going to
Evening blog.
Get back. Good evening. Sorry, I'm missing the messages at the moment because my stream manager is being a bastard. Good evening, Adkins.
I like what you've done to do the league lobby.
Apologies, I just have to reload every time to see comments on here at the moment. Yeah, it's a very good tool actually. It was Smug who runs this league who sent me the software link, and you just load it up. You can insert everything into it, and yeah, it'll generate the league tables for you. So rather than me doing it in my head on a Monday night, I can just whack it in the laptop and post the nice graphics on the Discord. So yeah, very good. We'll be using that for season 2. Mentioned on stream earlier on, season 2 of Blobby Monday starts in 6 weeks' time. Hopefully we'll have a full grid once the existing drivers have been given first refusal. Then we will open the rest of the seats up. And Miller Vanilla has picked up a 5-second penalty for hitting Smug. Let's see if he's picked up any damage. Can we see in the tunnel? Not really. The field are together now. Still trying to inspect the front wing, which looks okay for Miller. And the safety car is in this lap, so we'll go back to the leaders. And Swanton will pace the field. Hugely experienced driver, Swanton. He'll let the safety car get out of the way, and then he'll pick his time to get on with it. Colin is in second, with Real Maxwell sniffing his gearbox, as he has been the whole race. Swanton gets away. Yellow's still at the back. Syme straight away passing Miller Vanilla. And Syme back up to P6. Brad passes his teammate Skippy. Or does he? They're side by side, I think. And Skippy will now yield the position. And then get back in front of King Kong. Max World still trying to push Colin right around the track at the moment. We will keep an eye on Syme and Brad as they are the front two in the championship and did lead this race before pitting. Brad pitting twice. Sainsey there making a move. Smug picks up a penalty. And Sainsey has passed Roddy the Kid. So now has Mr. Pickle having a look. Brad and Levi side by side. And Brad has passed Levi. Roddy the Kid did lose the place there to Mr. Pickle. Went off is King Kong. King Kong's lost his front wing. Syme looking for a move here on Smug. Sainsey and Al Newt side by side. And it's difficult to get round there. They're almost three wide up the hill. Mr. Pickle getting involved as well. This could be dangerous. And Sainsey manages to stay in front for the moment. Real Maxwell just cannot get past Colin. And Swanton has created a 3-second gap already. This is working lovely for Swanton. Mr. Pickle almost contact, and then further back more. As people just concertinaing up there. Brad's got another place. He's passed Roddy. Ninjas picks up a time penalty. Brad is now up to P12. Real Max World, he's as close as he has been to Colin. And look at Sloth. He fancies a bit as well. Then it's Smug from Syme. Into the pits comes Ninjas. Syme having a look. But not yet making a move on Smug. Mr. Pickle has passed Al Newt. And he's up to P9. Of course, does have a penalty. As a couple of them now do. For the next stream, I will be sorting out a better alternative to get the chat loaded up. Joker making a move, and he's gone around the outside of Skippy. Oh, he almost binned it on the outer curb there. But up to P15 is Joker. Brad has gone past Al Newt and up into P10. And now there's a queue forming behind Colin here. Look at it. 5 of them. 5 of them in a line now. Colin from Max World, from Sloth, from Smug, from Syme. All trying to get by. Swanton must be loving what he's seeing. He's now 5 seconds clear. And Colin is doing an excellent job as his rear gunner at the moment. Maxwell desperately trying to get past. Can't do it. Syme now being caught by Miller Vanilla as well. The entire field is shortly going to be stuck in a traffic jam behind Colin. Levi stuck behind Easy Life at the moment. Joker is there as well, as is Skippy. Maxwell again getting close. Sloth just dropping back a little bit from them, maybe just to give himself some racing room. And Smug and Syme. And Levi passes Easy Life. And Easy Life is off! Off goes Easy Life. And he's having to spin it back round and get on his way. So Easy Life loses some places. King Kong has picked up a penalty and is in the wall. King Kong is in the wall once again. Real Max World stuck behind Collins still. Then Sloth, Smug and Syme. Easy Life into the pits after his accident. That 14 of 39, we have only lost one driver, and that was your Pro-Am Championship leader Senna, which has opened it up for everybody else in the Pro-Ams. The likes of Sainsy and 50 to give chase. Sainsy well positioned at the moment in the Aston Martin in P8 in front of the Pro-Am runners, and into the pits comes Max World. He's had enough now of Collins' rear end. Smug is also into the pit lane, and that has promoted Sainsy to P6, Mr. Pickle in P7 and Brad in P8, as you can see. Our Newt is up to P9. Max World is going to rejoin in P10. And then Smug in P11. And Syme makes a move and gets past Sloth. Lovely move by Syme, and he's back into the top 3. A Sloth from Miller, then Sainsy. And out of the race is King Kong. King Kong's out of the race. It is on track. I think he's crashed in the tunnel. I do believe he crashed in the tunnel, but his car's been removed very quickly. And we are back underway. So just a waved yellow. And that was that. No problemo, say the stewards. Mr. Pickle in 7th for the moment. Maxwell passes Al Newt and up to 9th place. He's just come out the pits. Levi passed Roddy the Kid. Miller Vanilla is into the pits. Joker passes Roddy the Kid. Joker now up to P13. Of course, he started at the back. Miller in the pits. He's passed by Maxwell, Al Newt, Smug. And look at Smug going around the outside of Al Newt. Lovely move by Smug. And up to P9. Brad Mason has got Sainsy. Sainsy's broken his front wing. Sainsy has broken his front wing. Joker picks up a penalty. And just as we said, Sainsy was sitting pretty for the Pro-Am. He's now got to hobble round with a broken wing. And this is music to the ears of Al Newt. And now Levi's off. Levi's off. Levi's broken his front wing. And we've got a virtual safety car. Is that the kind of virtual safety car that brings the safety car out without telling me, though? Who knows? Swanson will be praying that it's not a full safety car. In fact, he's in the pits.
This is it. Don't you die on me before I get over there.
We came from every corner to bring the war to Hitler's doorstep.
Let's rack them up and knock them down. Give them
Mr. Pickle is in the pits. Brad is in the pits again. Sainsy hobbles in. Real Max World is going to go right the way up here. How far will he go up? He is up to P3 and crucially, he is ahead of Colin. There you see it, Max World has managed to leapfrog Colin and up into P3. Colin is in P4, Smug P5, Al Newt P6 still yet to pit. Sloth is in P7. Then it's Joker now up to 8. Skippy is P9, Mr. Pickle 10. Simon's got a drive-through. A drive-through for the race leader. Roddy the Kid, Levi and Ninjas all in the pits. The VSC has ended just at the wrong time. Mr. Pickle passes Skippy and up into 9th. But Sime made it back to the front and now he's got a drive-through penalty. So Swanton will retake the lead. Brad passes Skippy once again. And up into P10 goes Brad after yet another pit stop. We're still not at half race distance, folks. We're on lap 18 of 39. No sign of a change in the weather at the moment. Sloth is pursuing Al Newt as Joker goes into the pits. Sime is continuing for now, but he will need to serve a drive-through. In fact, Joker, I believe, also must have picked up a drive-through because he did not stop. He just drove through, so he must have had a drive-through penalty as well. And that drops him back down to P13 ahead of his teammate 50 Gent. Now, who's close on track? Sainsey and Miller Vanilla getting close to the back of Skippy. Al Newt, the only one left on the tyres that he started the race on. And he is in front of Sloth and Mr. Pickle at the moment. And into the pits to serve his drive-through is Sime. Swanton retakes the lead. How far back will this set Sime? Swanton also the fastest lap, beaten by Real Max World. Sime is going to rejoin in P5. There's P5 now for Smug, for Sime behind Smug. And then Al Newt, who has got Sloth and Mr. Pickle going for him, and Sloth goes wide into the wall. So Sloth loses places to Mr. Pickle and Brad Mason. Brad Mason going up the inside of Mr. Pickle. And Brad Mason up to P7. Now he's going to look for a way past Al Newt. Sloth looks like he hasn't done any damage from that going wide and into the wall. Looks like his front wing is intact. Bit of a gap forming ahead of Al Newt as Brad now passes him and up to P6. Mr. Pickle looking to follow. Bides his time though. Oh, does he? He's gonna force his way through. Mr. Pickle into P7 goes Mr. Pickle. Al Newt has dropped a couple of places, but they're not places he'll worry about because he still leads the Pro-Ams. Sloth, the next one to try and get past Al Newt. He won't worry about this too much, Al Newt, but behind him is behind Sloth is Sainsey, who he would be worried about. And then Miller Vanilla follows. And out is Levi. Levi is retired, I think, in the pit lane. Either that or he's hit the pit wall. Levi, I think that was a pit and quit. He's out of the race. Lap 20 of 39 and we're down to 17. And Swanton is your leader, pursued by Real Max World. Colin is in third from Smug. Then it's Syme and Brad. Mr. Pickle is seventh from Al Newt. Then a pair of Aston Martins, Sloth and Sainsey, who are both stuck behind Al Newt. And Miller Vanilla's there as well. Brad sets the fastest lap of the race. Lap 21 of 39. No sign of Sloth moving aside to let his teammate have a go for the Pro-Am lead. Miller had a look there on Sainsey. Just had to get out of it. But he definitely had a look at poking a front wing up the inside. Swanton picks up a penalty, and that could cost him the race win. That's a huge penalty. Real Max World is now net leader. As the leaders approached Easy Life to lap him. Which with ghosting on is no problem. Syme is in the pits. So Brad goes past him. As will Mr. Pickle. Will the next few. This is crucial for Syme's race. Can he get out ahead of Al Newt and the oncoming traffic? It's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight. And Syme gets out in front of Al Newt, Sloth, Sainsey and Miller Vanilla. That was huge for Syme. He did not want to be getting in amongst that battle. Real Maxwell just a second behind Swanton now. No sign of Aston Martin doing any kind of swap deal here. Ninjas and Roddy the Kid are in the pits. Al Newt, look at him, he's still going on the tyres he started the race on. Excuse me. 22 laps in now. And here's Sloth having a look to try and pass him. But he manages to defend. Al Newt doing a sterling job on those very old tyres. Skippy's picked up a time penalty. And finally into the pit lane comes Al Newt. That frees the Aston Martins and Miller Vanilla. He'll also, and Skippy goes into the pits as well. Joker passes both of those two. He's up to P11. But looks like he'll still have to pit again. So Al Newt comes out of the pits in P12. 50 Gent will separate him and Skippy. And now your Pro-Am leader is Sainsey. The only one in the top 10. Only Pro-Am. He is between his teammate and Miller Vanilla at the moment. Swanton's whacked a second back on to his lead. It stands at 2 seconds at the moment, but he does have that 3 second penalty. So if Maxwell can manage the gap, He will get the win. Colin is in third place with Smug in fourth. He's been caught by Brad in fifth. Smug also has a penalty, as does Mr. Pickle in sixth. Symes rejoined in seventh and will try and get after them, and is setting fastest laps in trying to do so. Then it's this battle you see here between Sloth, Sainsey and Miller. Then we have Joker in 11th. Al Newt has come back out in 12th place, which is still second in the Pro-Ams. 50 Gent is into the pit lane. So Skippy goes up to third in the Pro-Am, but also has a penalty. 50 will rejoin ahead, I think, of Roddy the Kid. And Ninjas. Yeah, 50 is out and gone. So he stays ahead of Roddy the Kid and Ninjas, with Easy Life in 17th place. Brad is catching Smug very quickly indeed. Looking to make the most of Symes' misfortune with the drive-through earlier on. Brad had his own misfortunes, of course, from the front row as Miller Vanilla pits. He had to pit twice in successive laps. Joker's up to P10. And Al Newt passes Miller also. He'll come back out in P12. Or potentially P13 if Skippy can get by him, which he does. So P13 for Miller Vanilla. Brad now all over the gearbox of Smug. And he has found ways to make overtakes work this evening. Yellow in sector 3, and that's an Alpine going slowly. That's Roddy the Kid losing a place to Ninjas. We'll stay with Smug and Brad for now. And Brad having a look. He's having a look. He's having a look. He's not getting anywhere at the moment, but maybe now he is. Bit of contact, bit of shoving up the hill. Brad Mason up into P4. And Smug's just touched the back. And that could have ended in tears there. Smug passed by Brad up into P4. Into the pits is Joker. And that will promote Al Newt back up into P10. And Skippy will also go past Joker to P11. And Joker's going to return just ahead of Miller. It's going to be tight, in fact. Very tight. And Miller Vanilla, around he goes. Up to P12. Sainsey's still following his teammate around. He'll hope for his teammate to not hold him up. 12 laps to go. He's got a 12-second gap to Al Newt, who is chasing him for the win. So the team principal surely must be thinking, swap them around and let Sloth do the rear gunning for Sainsey's Pro-Am win here. But so far, that's not happened. Syme catching Mr. Pickle very quickly. And Brad has passed Colin. Colin's lost his front wing. Colin's lost his front wing and his podium spot. And Syme has passed Mr. Pickle. So Collins lost his podium spot and his front wing in quick succession. Mr. Pickles picks up another penalty. That's not his first. I will put the penalties up shortly. But Colin is going to have to pit here for a front wing. Look, you can see he's really struggling now. And Colin's out of the race! Out of the race is Colin. There you see him. We'll go on board with Sloth here. See if they actually move Colin's car in time. Roddy the Kid is out of the race. What a dreadful 10 seconds it's been for Alpine. Alpine both out of the race. We've got a full safety car. So while they managed to clear... so Mr. Pickles in the pits, as is Easy Life. Ninjas has got a drive through. Sloth into the pits. Swanton's lead will evaporate. And suddenly Brad will fancy a race win again. But he'll still have to get past Max World, of course. In the pits are Sloth and Sainsy, promoting Al Newt back up to the lead of the Pro-Ams and P7 overall. Skippy, is he going to pass both the Aston Martins? He isn't. But Sainsy's lost out there. And as I said, with the team orders, it's really not gone well for Aston Martin. Double stacking. Sainsy drops all the way down to P12. It is still P3 in the Pro-Am behind Al Newt and Skippy. Ahead of 50 Ninjas and Easy Life. But that's a real blow for Sainsy, who was leading in the Pro-Am and potentially on for a win. In the pits on the front four, how many is Syme going to get past? Just 2. So Syme is back up to P3. Brad is in P4. Smug P5. And then Mr. Pickle P6. So Syme decided not to box again and goes back ahead of Brad in P3. The safety car is yet to pick Swanton up, I believe, and now does. So Ninjas has managed to unlap. Ninjas will get to the back of the field. See, this is another thing the game needs to improve on, because poor old Easy Life is now in the middle of the field, and as they concertina up, he'll be pretty much a lap behind everybody else. So unfortunate for him. Just a little time check, as it is 9:30. For Blobby Mondays drivers, do bear with me, and the invitations may be a little bit late, as we've still got 10 laps left of this race after the safety car. In fact, it'll probably be another couple of laps under safety car, as everyone's so spread out. They're looking at Easy Life, who is at the back but isn't at the back, if you know what I mean. There we go, we've got the front 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers at the moment. Then there's a big gap to Easy Life. And then Al Newt is holding everybody else up. Sloth, Skippy, Miller, Joker, Sainsy. And then there's a gap to 50 and a gap to Ninjas, who is catching up an entire lap. So we've got a little while of safety car yet, probably another lap and a half at least. We have lost 5 of our 20. Both Alpines going just recently, Colin and Roddy the Kid, Levi's Ferrari, King Kong's Red Bull. And Senna, the Pro-Am Championship leader, was the first one to exit the scene. So lap 31 will be under the safety car as well. Al Newt still 25 seconds to catch up. And then Ninja's even more time to catch up at the back, which he's trying to do now. So lap 31 will be under the safety car. Lap 32 possibly as well, because they were so strung out. A good time to check the penalties, where Swanton's 3 seconds could well cost him the win. Smug has 3, Mr. Pickle 6, Skippy, Joker with 3 each, and Ninjas has got a drive through. So as much as the safety car being out and him just being able to unlap has helped him, he's not going to make much progress with the drive-through to serve in the next couple of laps. They come into the tunnel. I'll leave the penalties up there, as we know everybody is on intermediate tyres and have been throughout. Nobody has gone to full wets or to any dry compound. So Al Newt has closed up now, along with those behind him. So the safety car is in this lap. So 50 and Ninja's not given that opportunity to fully catch up. 50 will try his best as they come towards the final couple of corners, and in fact will get to the back of the field. Ninjas, who has a drive through anyway, won't catch up. So here goes Swanton then. We are back racing. Swanton from Maxwell, then Syme. Brad having a look at Syme off the restart. Trying to go around the outside. Then it's Smug, Mr. Pickle, Al Newt. Sloth, Skippy, and Miller, Vanilla. Brad Mason passes Syme. Massive overtake in the championship race. Easy Life is stuck in amongst the field. Ninjas is all on his own and will serve that drive-through penalty. Everyone else will come through close together. Swanton from Maxwell, from Brad, from Syme. Then it's Smug and Mr. Pickle. Then a gap already to Al Newt, who's been holding up the opposition for most of this race. He's preceded by Easy Life at the moment, who's a lap down. Sloth is, and Easy Life gets out of the way. And a yellow in sector 2 is for Easy Life getting out of the way. No problemo. Maxwell having a look, trying to get to Swanton. Brad's right in behind. Syme 4th, Smug 5th, Mr. Pickle 6th. Maxwell having a look up the inside. Close wheel to wheel. Still wheel to wheel. Brad's going to try and get up the inside now, is he? Very close wheel-to-wheel racing between the front three here. Skippy passes Miller Vanilla, or does he? He does, and he edges Miller just out a little bit. Skippy gets the move. He does have a penalty though. Ninjas has served that drive through. We've got to keep with the front three as we come towards the tail of this race. About to start lap 34 of 39. Swanton leads from Real Max World. Brad Mason in third, then Syme, who needs to try and keep within 3 seconds of Swanton if he's going to try and nick a podium. Smug is in fifth from Mr. Pickle 6, but they both have penalties. Al Newt needs to try and stay within 6 seconds of Mr. Pickle if he is going to get anywhere with the penalty. He's pursued by Sloth at the moment, but he won't care about that because he is leading in the Pro-Am, and Skippy behind and Sainsey behind both have penalties. Joker passes Miller Vanilla, who has lost his front wing. Miller Vanilla's lost his front wing, and I think he's just going to crawl it in to retire now, because he is certainly not in a position to score any points after another pit stop. Sloth closing on Al Newt. Al Newt defends as he has done most of the day. Smug now closing in on Syme, who's really lost pace, Syme, in this last bit of the race. Maybe his tyres are going off. 50 Gent has passed Miller Vanilla, who I think might be on his way to retire the car. Max World continues to chase Swanton. Syme has dropped right back and now won't be on for that podium, and is in danger from Smug and Mr. Pickle. Oh, almost contact. Almost the three of them hitting each other. Swanton, Max World and Brad. What will happen in these final few laps? Who will hold their nerve? Let's find out. Swanton, of course, that penalty currently costing him the win. Yellow in sector 1 wobbles again, side by side. Brad's going to try and take advantage. The yellow in sector 1 is for a Red Bull. That's Miller Vanilla, who has come out of the pits, I believe, and then still had some problems after that. We can't take our eyes off this battle for the lead though. Real Max World, Brad Mason, both chasing Swanton hard now. Diving to the left, diving to the right. Could be going 3 wide. Up the inside goes Brad Mason. Maxwell keeps it in there. What a battle around the streets of Monte Carlo. And up the inside goes Maxwell to keep the place. Yellow in sector 2 now. That's still Miller Vanilla, I believe. Joker has passed Sainsey. In fact, they both pitted. Joker and Sainsey both pitted.
Celebrate early with 90-minute payout. Winning bets paid out at 90 minutes.
Congrats. See you Monday.
First job, fantastic. Let's talk pay slips.
Doors closing.
Remember, rent's due tomorrow, mate.
Well done, son. Have you thought about your long-term savings plan?
Find your way to new beginnings with Barclays Life Skills. And join the million.
Estimated collision in T-minus 10.
Bring it on!
9. 8.
Can you confirm satellite collision is imminent?
7.
Let's go!
6. 5.
Carrying out collision avoidance maneuver.
4. 3. 2. 1. Satellite collision averted.
It takes the whole force to protect space. Join us.
Essentially, this is for the win, but Swanton will be hoping they have an accident and then he wins. Because at the moment, his 3-second penalty will cost him to both of these two. What a battle it is. And these two scrapped at Baku on Thursday as well. It's becoming a new rivalry, this. And I absolutely love it. Two laps to go. Can Brad manage to make it past Max? Again they go. And again Max stays in front. But he's wobbling more and more now. And can Brad go for the inside here? Brad goes up the inside. He's going to do it. He's made it up the inside. Brad Mason takes the lead. Takes P2, but essentially the lead. If he can stay within 3 seconds of Swanson in front, then Brad Mason will claim a famous victory. He's battled and scrapped with Max World over the last 5-6 laps, and he's got it done. Has Max got anything in response? Or does he cruise home to take P2? Smug picks up a second penalty. That's going to excite Mr. Pickle into potentially challenging him again. But they are way clear of Al Newt, so it's not going to cost them two anything having the 6-second penalties. Brad now closing in on Swanton. He doesn't need to pass him, but I'm sure he'd like to as they start the final lap of the race. If Brad can just follow Swanton to the end, he gets the win, but Brad is not wired up like that! And contact! And a wobble! And that invites Max back in! An unbelievable save by Brad Mason there. It looked like he was going to end in the wall, as he and Syme did in Baku on the last lap. Sloth lies still trying to get to Al Newt, and maybe a bit of contact there. We have got to stay with the leaders, as it's not over yet. Ninja's just staying well out of the way there as the leaders went by. Swanton takes them into the final sector. And a big drift from Max World there. He's not going to get there. And Swanton will come across the line in first. Brad Mason wins. Real Max World takes second from Swanton in third. Syme comes home in fourth place from Smug in fifth. Mr. Pickle in sixth. Al Newt will win the Pro-Am race. What a drive from the AlphaTauri driver. He's held up Sloth And he will take P7. Sloth in P8. Skippy takes P9 and a second place in the Pro-Ams. And 50 Gent will come home in P10. And P3 of the Pro-Ams ahead of his teammate Joker. Sainsy, unfortunate in running, will come home in P12. Miller Vanilla and Ninjas a lap down. Easy Life a couple of laps down. That completes the classification. And I think that's good timing, as we've got 2 minutes until I open the Blobby Monday lobby. Our new driver of the day for the game and Pro-Am winner. So who's to argue? But Brad Mason takes the race win. Swanton cost by that penalty in the end. Max World, what a battle, he and Brad, for a second race in a row. From Thursday night, it continued tonight. Real Max World second, and Swanton in third. Syme finished fourth and took the fastest lap, so damage limitation for him in the title race. Smug was in P5 from Mr. Pickle P6. Al Newt, Pro-Am winner, P7. Just one pit stop as well. Look, most people had 4. He only had the 1. Sloth in the Aston Martin was P8 from Skippy in the Haas P9, taking P2 of the Pro-Ams. And 50 Gent rounds off the top 10 for Mercedes and a podium P3 in the Pro-Ams. Joker was 11th from Sainsy in 12. Then it was Ninjas, Miller Vanilla and Easy Life rounding us off, with Colin, Roddy the Kid, Levi, King Kong and Senna, your DNFs. I'm going to have to get off quite quickly and get back on in a minute because it's time for Blobby Mondays very soon. This has been Blobby Butler on DRS. I'm back again in Monaco on Thursday for the start of DRS Extreme Championship. Still seats available for that. Blobby Monday Season 2, still seats available for that on a Monday as well from 10 p.m, which you will see me in Las Vegas in about 15 minutes. I've got to invite people into the lobby before then. So that's it for me, and I will see you in about 15 minutes. Thank you very much, and good night.